Hi everyone, this is Diya. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is gonna be yet another fun vlog about how we get ready to do an event for our dance institute Shaili on the occasion of Mahalaya. Now I have already uploaded a vlog where I have shown you the whole preparation process for one of our other dance events, and I even took you guys backstage and showed you what actually happens behind the scenes at the location of the event. If you haven't checked out that video, do check it out. I will link it up in the iCard and down in the description box. It's a really fun video and I think you will really enjoy it. But today's vlog is a bit different from that one because the event that we are doing is a lot bigger, both in terms of number of performances, the number of participants, as well as the whole duration of the event. See, here is what happens when you go to see an event. You only see the final output, the performance that the participants put on, but you don't really get to know what actually goes into preparing for that. And I want to show you exactly that through my vlogs because it takes a lot of effort, coordination, management to prepare even one performance, from managing the rehearsals to gathering all the participants to preparing the costumes, the props. Organizing a whole event is really a hectic and complicated process, but at the end of the day, it is also really fun and really worth it because when we get to put on a good performance for the audience, that is all that matters. So come along with me on this stressful, hectic, yet fun and entertaining journey. Let's go. আমি ভিডিও করছি, সবাই হ্যালো করো। Namaste. So our event was supposed to be on 25th of September, that is Sunday, and so we started our full-fledged back-to-back whole day rehearsals from the 19th of September. And the major difference between the last event that I vlogged and this one was that this one not only had our dance performances, but we also had 3 rounds of fashion shows. So naturally we had a really big team of at least, I guess, 150 people, ranging from all different age groups, from toddlers to moms. Another important difference is that me, Meghadi, Shikhadi and Manishadi, the 4 of us were given the responsibility to watch over all the rehearsals and to make sure that the kids do their rehearsals properly and they get their positions right and all that stuff. So we had a really big responsibility and it was quite a lot of pressure, but we were also glad to have been given this opportunity since we got to learn a lot of stuff and we also gained a lot of experience from this. And we also got to play around with a lot of cute little kids, so that was really fun as well. কই দেখি তোমার নাম বলো। হ্যাঁ, রিদ্ধি রায়। ক্লাসে পড়ো? কোন স্কুলে? নেই, কোন স্কুলে? হাওয়াসা, তোমার সাজটা একটু দেখিয়ে দাও। তুমি কি পড়েছো? Sabyasachi or Manish Malhotra? হ্যাঁ, Sabyasachi, yes, of course. Very sophisticated. So our event was supposed to be 2 hours long, and definitely if it's a 2-hour long event, there has to be a lot of different kinds of performances. And since we were working with such a huge team, we had to plan out a full itinerary of the rehearsals that we will be held for the next 5 days from Monday to Friday. And we also had to plan out when the fashion grooming sessions will be held, because this was the first time for a lot of people participating in the event, not just a first time doing a fashion show, but a first time ever getting up on stage. So that is why we had to pay special attention to the fashion show as well, and we planned out that there would be 3 days of fashion grooming for the kids and the teenagers and 2 days of fashion grooming for the moms and the ladies batch. On Monday we didn't have any fashion grooming sessions, we only had the dance rehearsals, and as you can see, even with just the dance rehearsals, the studio is completely packed and all the rooms are completely engaged. So the second day of the rehearsal started with the rehearsals of the Western batch kids, and after that we had called the teenage girls for their first day of fashion grooming. And on the very first day we didn't want to overwhelm the girls with a lot of information because, like I said, there were a lot of first timers this time. My mom was the one who had basically designed all the different rounds of the fashion show, and she had this one thought in mind that she did not want the fashion show to be monotonous. She wanted to keep it really unique, really interesting, and so she wanted to include a lot of different kinds of choreographies in the different sequences of the fashion shows. On the first day we didn't really give them the entire choreography and what all they have to do on the head ramp, We just gave them a basic idea about what it is like to do a fashion show, how they should pose, how they should walk, and to really understand the entire concept of a fashion show, we even drew out a T shaped stage on the floor with masking tape so that they can get a really clear idea about what a fashion show stage looks like, where they're supposed to walk, where they're supposed to pose, and all of that. While in one of the rooms the girls were having their grooming session, simultaneously in the other room, Meghadi was looking after the dance rehearsals of yet another Western batch. Because when you're working with such a huge team, multitasking and micromanagement is just something that you have to get used to.
স্টেজে এরকম সাইড ড্র্যাগ করা যাবে না। ওকে, সাইড ড্র্যাগ করা যাবে না। কিরকম করে যাবে? একটু জন্য হলো এটা পাক করবে না। ওকে? এই অন্য কাজ না, এইটা মাটা বাইরে পাক করিস। হালকা এরকম রাখতে পারিস। এইটা না। সামনে রাখ। নেক্সট
কিডস গ্রুপ বাপরে চলে এসছে আমাদের সুপার মডেলস। এই যে আমাদের জিজি হাডিড আর বেলা হাডিড চলে এসছে ওখানে। তেরে ইশক না চায়া নাচছি আমরা, খিদে পেয়েছে, মানে এক্ষুনি লাঞ্চ করে এলাম, সব খেতে পাইনি, ফুচকা খাবো। একটু বাচ্চা এটা তো বড়রা করতে পারে কেন? বাচ্চাদের মাথা ছোট, ছোটদের। আচ্ছা ফ্রকটা আমরা ওয়ান পিস হয়ে যাবে না, স্কার্ট হয়ে যাবে একটু দে। আচ্ছা কানেরটা নিয়ে আমি কানের তো সবাই করতে পারে না কেন? এইটা দিয়ে না আংটি হয়ে যাবে। এটা কালে ওতে ঠাকুর দে। ও এটা ঠাকুরের, ঠাকুরের দিতে নেই বলে দে। আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, তুমি বলো তাহলে কাল যখন আসবে তখন নিয়ে এসো কিছু আমাদের জন্য। হ্যাঁ এত কিছু। ওকে ওকে ডান। After the girls' grooming session, now the kids were here for their grooming, and here again we were assisting my mom to organize all the kids and coordinate between them. I was jotting down all their names so that we could divide them up into different groups and arrange the sequence in which the kids will enter the stage. We also chose 4 moms of the participating kids to become the volunteers who would help us with the management of the kids both during the rehearsals as well as on the day of the event in the backstage. And even for the kids round, my mom had thought of a really interesting sequence, and you will get to see what exactly that is as we progress more into the grooming session.
क्या हुआ? मेरा घर का नाम है बारबी।
तुम्हारा
यहाँ पे
क्या नाम है?
तनिष्का सोनी।
क्या है? तनिष्का।
जोर से बोल दो।
My mom made a diagram and drew out the entire sequence that was going to happen for the kids round, not only so that we could explain it to the kids better, but also for our reference so that we would have a really clear idea about exactly what was going to happen. Because here is the thing, understanding the sequence of a fashion show as an adult is difficult as is, and these are little kids we are talking about, so a lot of responsibility lies on the coordinators and the volunteers to have a really good idea about the entire sequence so that we can coordinate the whole thing from backstage, and even if there is any confusion on the side of the kids, we can guide them and help them out. After a bit of a struggle, we were finally able to organize all the kids into queues, and we divided them into 2 sides, that is the left of the stage as well as the right of the stage. And then we finally started showing them how to walk on the stage and how to present themselves, how to pose. Let me tell you something. Even though the kids were being a little bit naughty in the beginning, once the grooming session actually started, they became really cooperative and listened to what we were saying very carefully. And once they were given the instructions, they grasped the concept like absolute pros, and they were walking on the ramp like they had been doing it since the day they were born, and they were looking so cute and adorable. So now let me tell you a little bit about the sequence for the fashion show for the kids. So basically there would be 3 rounds. In the first round, all the kids were divided into groups of 3s and 2s. They would come up with their group, go to the head ramp, pose for a little bit, come back, and that would be the end of the first round. For the second round, there was a really interesting choreography that my mom had planned. Basically, 5 girls would come up in a line and go to the head ramp. The girl who would be in the front would be holding a trishul, and the rest of the 4 girls would lift their arms up, and every girl would hold the weapons and the accessories that Ma Durga holds. So a lotus, a sword, Shankh, the Sudarshan Chakra and all of that. And all of them would be wearing red saris to represent Ma Durga. And as for the final and show-stopping round, we had chosen another 5 kids who would represent Ma Durga, Ma Saraswati, Ma Lakshmi, Kartik ji and Ganesh ji. And while they would gather in the center of the stage, all the other kids who had participated in the fashion show would surround them and look at them as if praying to Ma Durga and her family and receiving their blessings. Because of course, we are doing this event on the occasion of Mahalaya where we are celebrating the arrival of Ma Durga and her family, so we have to depict that theme in our performances and in our fashion shows. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, through this fashion show, we are not only celebrating arrival of goddess Durga, we are also celebrating Bengali culture as a whole. So for all these fashion shows, the theme was typical Bengali clothing. All the girls would be wearing traditional Bengali sarees and all the guys would be wearing Punjabi, pajama or dhoti. Now, even though the day 2 rehearsals are over, our work is not finished yet. We have a lot of organizing and a lot of homework to do, from managing the costumes and props to making our own props. One of the most significant props that we have to make is a chalchitro, which is basically a background that you will find is placed behind the idols of goddess Durga and her family in the puja pandals as well as in temples, and we wanted to recreate the exact same effect of when you visit Ma Durga in a pandal. So that is why we decided to get a carpenter to help us create the basic structure of the chalchitro, and once that was made, we started painting it and we also decorated it so that it looks really glamorous on stage. Day 3 of the rehearsals and the second day of the grooming of the fashion show started with the girls group, and now that they were used to walking on the ramp a little bit, we were able to finalize their choreographies. And here I am doing the choreography with one of the groups, and I'm not actually participating in the fashion show. I'm just standing in proxy for one of the girls who hadn't arrived yet. Now here I want to say something. I'm not a professional model in any way, shape or form. And it's just that I have participated in a few fashion shows before, and the same goes for Shikhadi, Meghadi and Manishadi. And so that is why we have a bit of an experience that we can share with all the first timers. And will you look at Shikhadi go? Oof, that confidence. Oof, the walk. But unfortunately, when she came on the head ramp to strike a pose, her shoe ripped off. Oops.
কারো যদি জুতোর প্রবলেম হয় কন্ট্যাক্ট শিখাতে চার্জেস বলে দাও তোমরা $1 per 20 লাখ লাগেগা
20 lakh?
As the choreographies for the different groups in the girls round was finalized, the sequence was coming along really nicely. All the different groups of girls had their own thing to do when they're coming up on the head ramp, and it was looking really interesting and entertaining, and we were definitely sure that nobody would get bored while watching our girls rounds fashion show. The second day of the kids grooming went very smoothly as well. The kids were doing really well. They were walking on the ramp really smartly, and they had totally caught the idea of doing a fashion show, and we couldn't be more proud.
अजिंक्य कूदना नहीं है मन्नत जाओ उधर जाओ एक था गणेश और एक था कार्तिकेय और उन दोनों में कंपटीशन था एक टाइम कौन जल्दी दुनिया घूम सकता है हाँ लेकिन ये मैं शुद्ध बिहारी हूँ हाँ हमको मत बोलो फिर भी हिंदी नहीं आती
It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg.
एक जो मिसिंग है वो है मनीषा।
हाँ, वो मनीषा का
क्लास कराচ্ছি। मनीषা এখন ক্লাস করাচ্ছে আর
we love you Manisha, we miss you.
For the second round of the kids fashion show, we wanted them to practice with their props so that they can get used to holding the weapons, and also because some of the weapons had pretty sharp edges and we wanted to show them how to hold the weapons properly so that they don't hurt themselves. And as for the third and the final round, it came out so beautifully along with the chalchitra, I cannot even start to explain. And we also decided that we needed to have a Mahishasur along with Ma Durga and her family to really maintain the authenticity, so we chose a little kid who played out his part as the Mahishasur so adorably. And after the kids grooming ended, we still had some time on our hands and we took this opportunity to rehearse our dance performance, because yes, we were coordinating all the rehearsals and the fashion grooming sessions, but we still had our dance performances to practice, so we could not forget about that. After the rehearsals, Manishadi and Shikhadi also tried out the costumes that would be wearing, and let's just say they were pleasantly surprised with how beautifully the costumes turned out.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
And if you're wondering, yes, these costumes were made from the fabrics and the jewelries that we got from Kolkata, and I do have a dedicated vlog about that as well, so do check that out. Link is in the description box. With that, the day 3 rehearsals were over, and as we got home, we had some more props to make. Today we are making the mask that our little Ganesha would be wearing, as well as the crown that will be sitting on top of the mask. And I know that this might be hard to believe, but my mom and her friend Shuchandrimadi actually made this Ganesha mask entirely from scratch using newspapers, masking tape and glue. It was a really complicated process, but the outcome was definitely worth it. Here we are just adding some finishing touches to the mask. And of course, we punched out 2 holes where we would attach the string so that the kid who would be putting on the mask would have no problem wearing it. And after measuring his face, we also cut out 2 holes for the eyes so that he would have no difficulty seeing while wearing the mask. We made some accessories for the kids who would be playing the role of Ma Durga and her family, and this is the neck piece that would cover the entire chest area, and we also made crowns for them to really make them look like the idols that you see in the temples as well as in the pujo pandals. Currently it's 1 a.m. at night. If you don't believe me, let me show you the time. It's 1:02 a.m. and we just finished making all of these accessories. Oh, and now finally we can have dinner and go to sleep. On the 4th day of the rehearsals, we came in a bit early so that we could have our dance practice before the grooming session started. And this was the final day of the grooming for the girls as well as for the kids. So we wanted to have a dress rehearsal situation, and that is why we told everyone to wear saris or lehengas or Punjabi or pajama so that they can get used to wearing it on stage and they know exactly how to carry the outfits that they are going to be wearing. And can I just say, everyone was looking so beautiful and so adorable, and even though in the beginning they were feeling a bit uncomfortable, soon enough they got used to it and were looking really smart and gorgeous. And I can safely say that the final rehearsal was a grand success. We had a full run through of the different sequences and the kids handled it really well. They practiced with their costumes, with their props, and it was looking really, really beautiful. Next up was the grooming session for the ladies, and even though this was their first day of grooming, it took them no time to understand their sequence and they were able to execute it very quickly. For the ladies round, there were 3 sequences in total. In the first sequence, all the ladies would come up individually to the ramp, strike a pose, go back. For the second round, they were divided into groups. Each group would come up to the head ramp, do their own activity, kind of like the girls group, but the only difference was that Here, each group had their own unique prop, and all the props were related to Durga Puja. Some had Shankho, some had Pancho Pradip, Chamor, etc. As for the third round, I would say it was the most memorable round of all, because while in the second round we portrayed the women praying and worshipping to goddess Durga, in the last round we tried to portray that Devi Durga thrives within every woman in the modern society, because every woman has some skill, some professional expertise that gives her the power to contribute to the society and to make the society a better place. Someone is a photographer, someone is a teacher, someone is a doctor, someone is a housewife, and basically we want to spread the message that within every woman there is Dashabhuja. With that, we have come to the final rehearsal day, the day just before the event. The ladies are done with their final dress rehearsal, and our dance practice is on full flow. We are doing back-to-back rehearsals. Dresses are getting distributed, and people are doing their dress rehearsal so that there is no scope for wardrobe malfunctions. And what is a dance rehearsal vlog without some random singing by me and Shikhadi?
जो जगने न मानी कहाँ थी मैं देखो कहाँ चली आई कहते हैं ये दीवानी दीवानी हो गई दीवानी हाँ दीवानी हो गई सा 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 ला 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 ला
Let's be honest, final rehearsal days are kind of stressful because it's just the day before the event and everybody is a little nervous. But I would say they're also the most fun day of all of the rehearsal days, because we literally spend the whole entire day in the studio practicing. And we don't just practice, we also do a lot of other stuff like chat and hang around, and we also share food and snacks, and all in all it's just such a gala time. We make so many fun memories here. And if you're wondering why we are all wearing sunglasses, that's because we are performing a song where one of our props is a sunglass. Now I will let you guess what that song might be.
90s এর অজয় দেবগন গলার মধ্যে ঢুকিয়ে দে কোনটা
Alright, so that is it for the part 1 of my vlog, and I know it ended on quite a cliffhanger, and I'm sure you all are really curious to know what happened on the day of the event. So don't worry, I will be uploading the part 2 of this video really soon, so definitely stay tuned on my channel to see what actually happened on the day of the event and how the performances turned out. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and comment down below what your favorite moment was from this vlog. I'd love to know. And share this video with your friends, family, anyone you think might enjoy it. I will appreciate all the support that you guys give to me. And finally, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as ding the notification bell right beside it, so that you get notified whenever I upload the part 2 of this video, as well as whenever I come up with more fun and exciting videos. That is all. I will see you in the next video then. Bye!